Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new, please consider subscribing. My name is Yari and I make educational videos for beauty professionals in training and for those who like to continue learning. All right, you guys, listen up. If you have recently graduated or soon to be graduating from beauty school, whether it's esthetician, cosmetologist, a nail technician, an eyelash specialist, or an even barber, this video is for you and I want you to take notes. Take notes. I get these type of questions all of the time about how do I prepare for my state board exam, the written, the theory exam in particular. So in this video, I am going to give you guys some tips on how to have a plan on better studying skills. If you find the video helpful, you know what to do. Give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and again, if you're new, consider subscribing. Now let's get started. So you are telling yourself, okay, I graduated or I will soon be graduating. I need some tips on how to study and what to study. Now, first and foremost, congratulations on graduating. I know this is a very exciting time for you, but yet it can be very nerve-wracking. I feel like this is a time where students' reality starts to sit in. They really start to question, what is next for me? But I hope this is something you've been thinking about, not just now, but for the last few months. And I hope you have a plan. But hey, guess what? If you don't, I hope this video helps you at least get started. Many students reach out to me privately asking for advice on how to study, what to study, and honestly, there is no right or wrong way. But if you find yourself being at a lost point with no direction, I have put this information together for you guys to help you figure out a study schedule that can hopefully lead to that passing score you have been working towards. So be sure you stay until the very end. Okay, so the first thing on my list is I really need you guys to have an understanding of the exam format. Remember that each state usually has what is called a candidate information bulletin with this information. So it's no secret that I am in Texas, you guys. So usually in most of my videos in the description box, I will leave the link to the, bulletin, whether it's for cosmetology, for nail technicians, for esthetician, you name it, like I will leave it in the description box. Now, if you watch my videos and you are not in Texas, I am pretty sure that whatever state you are in, they do have a candidate information bulletin for whichever program course you are taking with all of the information regarding your exam. What are some things that you need to know about your test? Well, first and foremost, you want to know, again, what does it consist of? Is it a computer test? How many questions are asked on this test? What is the minimum passing score? So for example, in Texas, it's 70. You must get a 70 to pass the test. Is it a time test? Next, can I retake the test? More than likely, you are able to retake the test with the exception of you having to pay each time you go. I'm not really familiar with obviously other states, but in Texas, you can take the test as many times as needed, but you do have to pay each time that you go. What else? The number of questions asked per subject. This is extremely important. Why? Well, because you want to be sure that you are studying the right information. So here's an example. Let's say there's 10 questions over infection control, 10 questions over hair removal, etc. Again, you guys, these are just examples. Now, this would simply help you kind of give you an idea of, hey, I need to focus on infection control. I need to focus on hair removal. Obviously, being in school, and if you were a good student, if you showed up almost every day, right, and took notes in class, paid attention, you should have a thorough pretty thorough understanding of everything. I'm not saying that you know the book inside and out, but you have a pretty good understanding of a little bit of every or all subjects. But this is where you know the specific chapters that you need to focus on. So yes, having an understanding of what the test consists of and the format is absolutely important. I wanted to make sure that I included this in this video. Next, review your state specific requirements of the exam. So for example, if your state asks questions regarding laws, rules, and regulations, be sure to study and review them, okay? That information will more than likely will not come from your standard textbook, but instead from a separate book provided by the Cosmetology Commission of your state, or maybe perhaps from an online resource. So again, I'm giving you guys examples. If on your test they do ask you questions about laws, rules, and regulations, again, I'm giving you guys Texas as an example. But yes, students in Texas, no matter what program, what license you are seeking, they do want to make sure that you understand the laws, rules, and regulations. And they're going to ask you at a minimum 10 to 13 questions, maybe a little bit more. It is important that if you're in Texas, you're studying those laws, rules, and regulations, and you will be surprised because I've seen it, okay? I'm not just saying this. I've seen several students fail the test, and guess what they miss the most? Those laws, rules, and regulations questions, okay? So again, check your state requirements. If you see that in your state, whether you're in California, you're in Tennessee, you're in New York, you're in Arizona, listen, no matter where you are at, if your test does include some laws, rules, and regulations questions, you must study that information based on your state's information. In a lot of my practice videos, I'll include some laws, rules, and regulations questions, but I always make it a point to let you know, hey, these are for Texas. So be sure that you are studying the right ones for your state. Just like when I get students that ask, can I use this study guide? Can I use this practice test for my state? You know, another state other than Texas. I say absolutely. This information, really all of my practice exam questions, the study guides, anyone can use them, with the exception of the laws, rules, and regulations information, because I am posting information for Texas when it comes to laws, rules, and regulations. Enough of that. I think you guys get the point. And trust me, the information won't be hard for you to remember. But if you've never seen it before, it can definitely throw you for a loop. So if you get asked and you've never seen this information, chances are you're not going to answer the question correct. So be sure you do not ignore that. Next, what I want you guys to do is to evaluate what your weak areas are and write them down. Now, this will help you with a starting point of what you should start studying. Believe it or not, you guys, you know more than you think, and you have to trust what you know. But this is very important. Write everything down that you think or you believe you need extra help with. What chapters, what subjects. This will really help you get started. Now that you have a list of chapters, subjects that you know you need to really focus on before this exam, your next step is you need to create a study schedule and give yourself a time frame and an expected official date of when you will be taking the actual test. Now, if you're wondering, Ms. Yadi, why do I have to do it this way? Why should I have an expected date of when I will be taking my real test? Well, here's why. If you don't, you're going to keep pushing it off. You're going to keep procrastinating. You're going to say, oh, I'll take it later. I'll do it later. And some of you guys, it's hard to say, but some of you guys maybe don't have anyone on your side that is motivating or pushing you to take the test. So guess what? I'm going to be that person for you. So what I want you to do is come up with the schedule, and at this point, you've already finished school. At this point, you're eligible to call and schedule your test. So if you know that you have at least, again, several chapters that you need to study, you're going to give yourself a month. And guess what? You are able to call and schedule out for a month in advance. And that's really what you should do. Why? Because you will have a date set, and therefore that is going to push you to not put this in the back seat and forget about it. Plan a realistic study schedule leading up to the exam date. Break your study material down into manageable sections, and most importantly, stick to your plan. Oh, you're going to stick to your plan. You're going to get licensed. For example, let's say you have about 8 subjects or chapters you feel the need to study. You plan on giving yourself a month to study. So, number 1, figure out how many days out of the week you plan to study. In my opinion, 4 to 5 days is realistic. It could be Monday through Thursday, or you could do Monday through Friday. And don't sit here and say that you'll study on the weekend, because we both know you're not going to do that. So, weekdays, okay? It's okay for you to have a few days off where you can just let your mind rest. So, I think Monday through Thursday works great, or Monday through Friday also works great if you have the discipline to do the 5 days. But again, it's up to you. I'm giving you guys tough love, and I think you already got the point. Number 2, how many hours a day can you study without distractions? Without distractions is the key word. Now, I think 2 solid hours of uninterrupted time is fair. If you have time to study in the morning, great. But if you feel your mind works better at night, then that's great as well, you guys, as long as you stick to the plan. Do what works for you without overdoing it, or else you will not retain any of the information that you are trying to remember. So don't feel the need, oh, I'm going to study for 5 hours, 6 hours. That's not going to work, and you're not going to remember anything. So let's be realistic with how many hours we're going to study. I say 2. I think 2 is good. But again, you figure that out. Number 3, now that you have a number of days and a number of hours, you can now start to put it on paper. Number 4, I do not recommend that you study more than 3 subjects a week. So for example, you can do infection control, hair removal, hair cutting, chemical services, manicure, etc. So again, I would just do no more than 3. Number 5, start by studying your weakest areas first, followed by your second weakest, etc. So if you really feel that you do not have a very good understanding of infection control, I keep using that one, that's because everyone needs to know about infection control. But if you feel the need that is something that you kind of struggle with, then you want to start with that one. You want to start with infection control being the first subject that you go over. Here is an example of what your study calendar can look like based on your study needs. Now, remember, you guys, that whether you're a cosmetologist, a nail technician, or a barber, or an esthetician, obviously what you're looking on the screen right now is geared towards more of an esthetician schedule, but you can do the exact same thing, but put in the subjects, chapters that work for your program and based on what you are needing to study, okay? But I wanted to obviously have something like this on the screen to show you guys. I know some of you guys need to, are more visual. You need to kind of see it. So this is the best I could do to give you an example, an idea of what I mean. So for example, my days on my calendar, on my study schedule is Monday through Friday. And as you can see, Monday and Tuesday, I'm focusing on infection control, chapter 5, and I'm going to be studying, going over this information for 2 hours from 10 a.m. to 12. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to be going over chapter 11, which is hair removal, and I will be doing my studying on those 2 days in the evening from 7 to 9 on both days. And then on Friday, I have to review laws, rules, and regulations and blood exposure, and I'm doing that from 10 a.m. to 12. So again, I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a few seconds so that you guys get an idea. Trust me, it will work, but you have to stick to the plan. Now, if you feel the need to only give yourself 3 weeks, but if you need the 4 or even 5 weeks, then you have to be your own judge of that. Now, if you look at my last week, now this was four and a half weeks here. On the very last week of this schedule, I have practice test, study guides, and then at the end you see it's time, I can do this. By then, that means that you have that date scheduled of when you will be taking the test, but you have been working towards for 4 to 5 weeks on studying, doing practice tests, using flashcards, you name it, up until you go and take the real deal. So I hope this is helping you. Again, if you are finding this information helpful, share it with a friend. I'm giving you guys tough love, but some of you guys need to hear this, and I'm really here sitting, talking to you as if you were my personal student, and because this is how I am with my real students. I'm like, okay, we're gonna really do this, and it's so important that you guys hear this maybe from someone that you don't know. But even though you don't know me, I feel like you guys always come back and let me know, how you do on the test, when you pass, and it's just, I don't know, like you guys really do bring me a smile, and I don't know, I keep pushing and doing all of this because I know that even if it helps one of you guys out there, I feel like I've done enough. I say we keep the good vibes going. Now that you have a schedule, you want to use textbooks, study guides, flashcards, and any notes that you took while you were in school. So separate your material, you guys, by subjects or chapters, whichever seems easy for you. This will make it easier to review and track your progress. Staying organized is key. If it takes you a full day to organize your material, your paperwork, or online resources, that's fine. I know some of you guys do not get an actual textbook. Some of you do everything online, like you have an online book, and that's fine. But whatever you may need to get yourself organized, now that you know what chapters, what subjects you're needing to study, I need you to pull that material out and have it ready to go so that when you officially start your schedule, you go right to the information that you need. Use flashcards. Flashcards can help you memorize key terms and definitions. So that's also a very good way of studying. Next, we have take practice tests, join study groups. Taking practice tests will help you feel more confident in the information that you know or that you are studying because you're trying to learn more of. It will also help you figure out what subjects you must continue to review. So for example, in your schedule, figure out what study guides that I may have available where you can put them into your schedule to study and review to help you go over any specific subject. Studying with a classmate can provide you support and insight. You can share resources with one another and also quiz each other. Talk to people, you guys. Talk to people who have recently taken the exam. See if they can provide you with any insight into what you can expect and maybe share some tips with you. But hey, if you don't have anyone to study with, trust me, It is okay. You have to continue to push forward. And last but not least, take care of yourself and try to stay motivated even when it seems very hard to do. I also want to point out that if you are watching this video and you perhaps have already taken the test and for whatever reason you did not pass, try to implement everything that I have gone over in this video and try new methods of studying. Again, come up with a schedule and don't give up on it. Okay, you guys, you need to get plenty of rest. Being in a good physical and mental health will help you concentrate and retain information better. Replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Remove yourself from any negativity that is holding you back from fulfilling what you've been working hard towards. Remember why you chose this career and how passionate you are about it. Let the passion fuel your motivation to study. Remember, you are not alone. Many have walked this path before you and succeeded. Picture yourself passing the exam and starting your career as a licensed professional. This vision can be a powerful motivator. All right, everyone, that is it. That is all that I have for now for this video. I hope you found all of this information helpful. Again, if you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for your continued support. I am sending every single one of you that is listening to me right now the best of luck on your exam. Remember to try to answer each and every question to the best of your ability. You got this, okay? So again, thank you so much for being here. You guys, let's keep going. Let's keep growing. And I'll see you on the next one.